I'm joined now by James Jackson, a reporter from Germany, who was contacted by this Saudi national over the summer when he was implying threats. Good morning to you, James.
Good morning, Matthew.
This is the more I hear about this story, the more you start to wonder about whether the authorities were slow off the mark here. I mean, you've had conversations. The Saudi government alerted Germany, I believe, on 4 occasions.
Mm-hmm.
I believe a British woman on social media was concerned by al-Abdulmohsen's some of his messages online, and she tried to contact the German authorities as well, unsuccessfully.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your story, James?
Well, in my case, I do agree with you. This is a really surprising story that's taken a lot of twists and turns. And I think one of the most surprising parts is this guy was quite prominent, actually. He had 40,000 followers on Twitter, which is quite a lot. There's been BBC as well as German local videos about his NGO, which was, Save Saudi Refugees. But this was clearly someone who was radicalizing, including on social media, and who was posting to his 40,000 followers threats to Germany, taking revenge against Germany for not taking the plight of Saudi refugees seriously enough as he saw it. But a lot of it was also personal grievances he had.
Yes.
And, whether it's an indication of mental illness or not, I couldn't say. But really, for example, the video he sent me was very odd because I had done a story about German police brutality, and he sent me this video, which was actually of an AI Elon Musk complaining about various grievances that the suspect had, including another ex-Muslim association. That seemed to be a real target of his. So even within the sort of ex-Muslim community, he was seen as very divisive. And he was in the video. He talked about a conspiracy of the far left working with the ex-Muslims that he didn't like, to undermine the ex-Muslim community. He talked about Germany Islamizing Europe, which is of course absurd, and was very aggrieved that Syrian migrants who are fleeing, Syrian refugees who are fleeing war and persecution in Syria were more likely to have their asylum applications approved than Saudi ex-Muslims. But then there's also been reports of strange behaviour towards the very women he was meant to be helping. So one thing that the security services really should have picked up on.
Well, this
I
is
mean, it's a total failure.
well that's pretty much what I was just about to ask you, James. Is that they were getting information about him from all directions, and appeared to have done nothing. That the British woman who was concerned about him on social media, as I understand it, tried to contact the German police, but couldn't find anybody to speak English to her. So she then went online and tried to communicate with them online, and failed there. I mean, this is a woman who made a determined effort to share her concerns.
Absolutely. And I hate to say it, but it shows that there is a bit of a computer says nine attitude among elements of the German security services. I mean, you'll see it in, the regular civil servants, but the fact that the people who are meant to stop terrorism are passing the buck when people are sending them, very concrete threats that they could verify within 5 minutes. But, they might have sent it to the Twitter account rather than the correct contact form. For example, that's something that's been claimed. And it's also been reported, by the way, that the local criminal association, the criminal police, they call them here, do investigations, actually did look at this guy in 2023. They said, no, he's fine, no risk. And then the suspect was due to appear before court just a few days before the attack last Thursday, because of nuisance towards the police, calling people up and talking about the people that he didn't like and trying to prosecute them with the police, as well as it's not quite clear, but it appears he may have gone to a police station and then pulled the fire alarm there, and that seems to be what he was due to. So really erratic behavior, not ideological, not an Islamist, but just a sort of behavior that really stands out, and you think, well, this guy's not right. I mean, what you can do, it's hard to say, but
I also agree his behaviour is concerning on a mental health front. Can I ask, one of the things I've detected from interviews with German people, both at the market and more generally, is they're understandably very angry. So I just wondered how quickly we're going to see some kind of political response to the problems we've just been discussing with the police.
Well, yeah, that is the question, really. I mean, it's hard to say because if this had been an Islamic terrorist, I think the political response would have been very quick because
Yes.
we actually had that earlier this year in Solingen, and that really changed a lot of the discussion about deportations, migration, asylum. But because this guy is more of an anti-Muslim, far
Yes,
right,
yes,
arguably
yes.
extremist. I'm not, but then he is also from an Arabic country himself. So the far right are still saying, well, we need to deport them whether they're Muslim or not. You know, there's been actually rallies on the streets of Magdeburg where this happened, and they were chanting, deportations now and
Well, the
stuff.
trouble with
But
racists
then
is they're never the brightest of people, are they?
well, yeah, exactly. Um, but then, so I'm wondering if there will be a backlash against the far right, or if it will be as it, in my view, should be against the failings of the security services
Noted.
because they haven't done their jobs. But then Germans media is very, touchy about criticizing the police.
Interesting. Interesting. That last line in particular, because Christmas market attacks have been, excuse me, something of a thing in Germany.